The Siege of Sevastopol, also known as the Defense of Sevastopol, Obrona Sevastopolia, was one of the most dramatic episodes on the Eastern Front of World War II. The port city of Sevastopol in Crimea, home to the Soviet Black Sea Fleet, turned into a fortress that held out for more than 8 months against relentless Axis assaults led by Germany, supported by Romania and Italy. This battle not only showcased the extraordinary resilience of the Soviet defenders, but also demonstrated the staggering cost of victory in modern warfare. Background: on June 22, 1941, Germany launched Operation Barbarossa, the massive invasion of the Soviet Union. The primary objectives were to seize resource-rich territories, destroy the Red Army before it could recover, and pave the way toward Moscow, Leningrad, and Ukraine. Within this broader campaign, Crimea became a critical strategic target. From this peninsula, the Soviets could launch air and naval strikes against the Romanian oil fields at Ploiești, vital to the German war effort. Moreover, Crimea housed the key naval base of Sevastopol, armed with powerful coastal artillery and reinforced fortifications. Adolf Hitler tasked General Erich von Manstein and the German 11th Army with the conquest of Crimea and the capture of Sevastopol. For the Soviet Union, defending the city was not only a matter of military necessity, but also of national pride and symbolic resistance.
The battle. Phase 1. The initial assault, October through December 1941. In the autumn of 1941, after sweeping through most of Crimea, Axis forces encircled Sevastopol by land. Yet the city's defenses proved far stronger than anticipated. A network of bunkers, trenches, and concrete fortifications shielded the defenders. The Black Sea Fleet maintained supply lines by sea, ensuring the garrison could fight on. German assaults in November and December failed, hampered by heavy rains, rough terrain, and determined Soviet resistance. Phase 2. Soviet counteroffensives and stalemate, early 1942. While defending Sevastopol, Soviet forces launched an amphibious counterattack on the Kerch Peninsula in January 1942, forcing Manstein to divert troops. However, in May 1942, the Germans responded with Operation Störfang, crushing the Soviet Kerch front and freeing Axis forces to refocus on Sevastopol. Phase 3. Operation Störfang, June through July 1942. On June 2, 1942, the Germans launched Operation Störfang, Sturgeon Catch, a massive offensive to seize Sevastopol once and for all. Super heavy artillery. The Germans deployed colossal weapons, including the Schwerer Gustav 800mm railway gun, capable of firing 7-ton shells. Luftwaffe bombardment. Thousands of sorties rained bombs on Soviet fortifications, supply depots, and naval facilities. Ground assaults from German and Romanian troops attacked from multiple directions, while amphibious landings cut into Soviet coastal defenses. The fighting was brutal. Soviet troops resisted in bunkers, tunnels, and caves, while coastal batteries struck back at Axis positions. Yet, with superior air power and overwhelming artillery, the Germans gradually broke through. The final collapse, June 29th through July 4th. By late June, German assaults reached the heart of the city. Amphibious operations secured the northern shorelines, and Soviet defenses crumbled. On July 4, 1942, Sevastopol fell. Around 90,000 Soviet soldiers were captured, thousands more were killed, and only a fraction managed to evacuate by sea. The once mighty fortress city was left in ruins.
Consequences. 1. a strategic victory for Germany. The fall of Sevastopol gave the Axis complete control of Crimea, securing the Black Sea flank and allowing German forces to launch Operation Blau, the summer offensive into the Caucasus oil fields. 2. Heavy Axis losses. Victory came at a staggering cost. The siege consumed vast amounts of ammunition, destroyed divisions, and exhausted German and Romanian troops. Many units were severely weakened for future operations. 3. A symbolic blow for the Soviet Union. For the Soviet Union, losing Sevastopol was a bitter defeat, yet the defenders' heroic resistance was immortalized in Soviet propaganda, serving as an inspiration for continued struggle on the Eastern Front. 4. Long-term reversal. Despite the Axis triumph, the victory proved temporary. By late 1943, following Soviet successes at Stalingrad and Kursk, the Red Army launched its Crimean offensive. In May 1944, Sevastopol was recaptured by the Soviets. Conclusion. The Siege of Sevastopol was one of the largest and most brutal sieges of World War II. It demonstrated the strength of modern fortifications, the decisive role of air and artillery superiority, and the immense human and material cost of a prolonged siege. For Germany, it was a costly victory that drained resources needed elsewhere. For the Soviet Union, it became a symbol of sacrifice and resilience. Ultimately, Sevastopol showed that in total war, no victory comes without devastating consequences.